In South Africa, we've been having a conversation about the education system, wondering why it is that our children cannot grasp maths and science, and yet South Africa has got the biggest budget on the African continent, but we are the worst at maths and science. Many reasons have been given, from the fact that Bantu education, the legacy of apartheid, has affected the ability of good black teachers being produced in this country. There is also the notion that there is not enough resources to train enough black teachers to catch up with the backlog that was created by apartheid. Then there are others who believe that our children are not being taught in their mother tongue, and because of the lack of mother tongue instruction, we are currently lagging behind in teaching our children because they cannot learn in their mother tongue. While there can be many excuses, many reasons, many valid ones, there are many people in South Africa that are seeking solutions to the education problem. My company is one of those companies that have been in the forefront of trying to offer solutions in content creation that makes sure that we can also give our children a world-class learning experience in their mother tongue, and to standardize education and the quality of dissemination of education so that all children in the country have a chance to stand up and be the best. We've decided to utilize technology to allow us to create a world-class learning experience, a world-class classroom experience that will be delivered onto every child's palm through technology. We presented this idea to the Department of Education in Gauteng, to the best Minister of Education, Panyaza Lesufi. The presentation was in 2016, but it would seem that our government has not appreciated what it is that we're offering. Until today, our children are not being taught in their mother tongue, even though the solutions exist and just require the leverage of funding. I will demonstrate with this presentation how it is that education can be in future.
Hello students, I'm Nancy Kristen.
And I'm Peter Rhodes. I work for Woolworths in the logistic department. My department is one that uses project management tools intensively for timely delivery to our stores. I enjoy teaching, and I've been teaching project management course at Institute for the last 8 years. I hope you'll enjoy learning this course.
The point of creating this product was to use animation, digital presentation, technology to give our children a means of learning while utilizing all of their senses to allow them to learn quickly, better, faster, and to keep them interested in education. The idea that we came up with was to recreate a learning experience with digitally created animated characters that will give a personal touch of the learning experience. We wanted to recreate teachers that would be presented in the ethnic identity of the students, ones that they could relate to, and ones that they could feel that they're being taught by people to absorb better. With that, we brought in text so that students can continue to learn as they were instructed before, by seeing the writing of words, spelling of words, construction of sentences for their education. In the process, we wanted to use all mother tongue languages to produce each and every subject and to reproduce each and every one of these digital textbooks, so that a child can have the option of an English textbook together with any of the vernacular languages of their choosing to learn from. When a student cannot understand a concept in English, they would always be able to reference a Xhosa, Zulu, or any other language, including a sign language textbook that will explain the same concept in a different language. We can even change the identity of the characters and the accents of the characters according to the students that we are teaching. From this, we believed that we could standardize pronunciations of all the various languages. If all students have got the access of the palm of their hands, a textbook that teaches them the same English, the same vernacular language, they would be able to standardize their understanding of the language and their pronunciation of words. For the vernacular languages, we believed that a digital platform such as this would allow us to introduce academic lexicon and new words for each and every vernacular language that will be presented immediately to students through this digital platform, allowing the easy adoption of new words and the academicalization of all our vernacular languages to make them academic languages. It is very important for you to understand that Afrikaans used to be considered as a kitchen language, and it took them 20 years to academicalize it by writing poetry, books, newspaper articles, doctors' reports, menus in hotels, and all sorts of other literature that turned a kitchen language into an academic language. And this is the same treatment that we would like to give our vernacular languages, to academicalize them in a shorter period of time than Afrikaans was academicalized, so that our vernacular languages can be preserved and so that they can be turned into academic languages. The purpose of this presentation is not to indict our government, but it is to say publicly that we have solutions. And whatever reason it is that our government keeps out black innovation, we as the people would like to challenge those hiccups, which we know have to do with the old system and the structure of this economy that is monopolized by whiteness. We want to challenge that and say there are solutions coming from black people to solve problems that both black and white are suffering in South Africa. We need to open up that black problem solvers and innovators can be accepted. Through this process, we also want to educate other black people and the black child that black innovation exists. Black people are innovating solutions to problems, creating solutions to problems, and capable of engineering like any other race if given the opportunity.
You learn to draw activity on node or AON networks and analyze them to arrive at the critical path. After you complete this module, you will have learned how an AON network is constructed, how to calculate the total duration in an AON project, and identify the critical path.
Once you have completed the module, you'll be assessed on the following: drawing an AON network using the correct symbols, calculating the total duration in an AON project using examples, how to identify the critical path.
You will see that the technique of presenting information will be the best in class in the world. It will be created with the assistance of educators from all types of schools and even students from all types of backgrounds, from the most intelligent to those who are most challenged, so that we can understand how to disseminate the information in a means and a method that all students can understand. We can also present information in a means that can be adopted by the smartest and also by those that are a bit mentally challenged. More critically, we want to present information in various presentations, various modes that allow each and every student to understand. Those that have dyslexia, those that can't read, can still have a fair opportunity to learn the course material because of the graphic presentations and the way the information is disseminated. We also wanted to eliminate paper so that we can become environmentally friendly in this day and age. We also wanted to eliminate the delay of printing textbooks by offering a new means of presentation of information.
Let us take the example of three friends, Jim, Kim, and Jane, going for a movie in the evening after completing the various tasks, and try to draw and analyze this as an AON network.
Before we draw this scenario as an AON network, let us first understand what is an AON network.
Activities are represented by a rectangular box. Here activity Y depends on activity X. This dependency will be represented by an arrow from X to Y. One activity can be dependent on many activities. Here activity B depends on two activities, X and Z.
What you have just watched is the means and methods of disseminating information in the best possible way, or at least what we suggest is the best possible way. Giving the objectives, talking about definitions, and I would like to add, giving students an understanding of why we are studying a particular topic and how that will influence and translate into their job selection, career selection, and application in the professional world. More critically, we would also like to get to a point where this textbook does not replace the teacher, but becomes a tool to assist the teacher to educate the student. Every student can have this on their laptop, they can have this on their tablet or their cell phone, but they will always have issues that they do not understand. They will always need a moderator for their performance, and this is where the teacher comes in. But the good thing about this textbook is it also teaches the educator, those that were not adequately trained, to become better educators, as it teaches them technique, style of presentation, and how it is the material can be disseminated to the student in the most effective way. More critically, those teachers are the same people that will give feedback to the content creator to allow the content to be improved and to allow the content to change with the times and the technology that is required for this period.
An AON network is likely to be larger and more complex than an AOA network.
Jim's place is 45 minutes from the theater, so he will take 45 minutes to reach the theater. But he has to wait for Kim to join him before leaving his house. But he cannot get off work before 7 p.m. and it will take him 1.5 hours to reach Jim's place. Or if he gets late, he will go straight to the theater, which will take him 45 minutes. In this case, he has to tell Jim to leave without him and reach the theater in time for the movie. Is represented by a box. Box is labeled as. Now, we will put all the activities which are not dependent on any other preceding activity. Latest, Kim can leave by 8 p.m. so that he can make it on time. Hence, total float is 60 minutes. Duration of the activity is also 60 minutes, as it takes 60 minutes from office to theatre for Kim.
Milestones are specific decisions that need to be taken or reviewed. These represent the completion of a number of activities, and in AON networks are represented by nodes with 0 duration. To see that item, click on this button.
Hey Jim, sorry dude, I'm going to be a little late. I cannot come to your house by 8 p.m. as we agreed. What happened?
All these is me paging through the textbook to wherever I want to concentrate. These are the benefits of this textbook, is that it can allow us to create an experience where a student goes through the textbook at the speed they prefer. They can fast forward, they can rewind, to repeat content, and to listen to content until it sticks in their head. The most important thing is that this textbook is a textbook that students can read or can engage with as they travel on the bus, on the train, or as they sit on the playground with their ears listening to the content. So they are not only reading content, but they are looking, watching, observing, and listening to content, which gives them a better opportunity to learn by themselves and a better opportunity to understand the content. Once they've learned, once they've gone through a chapter, every single textbook will test them, where they can be able to put in answers, submit, and if the answers are incorrect, they get a feedback. Another brilliant thing about this textbook is it allows analytics, where the educators and the school and the Department of Education can see the performance of each and every student. Time spent per page, time spent per exercise, time spent taking tests to be able to evaluate the performance of the student, and so that the educators can concentrate on the specific areas that students need attention on. And one of the biggest issues that has always been raised in Africa is then how is it that the African governments can pay for this technology? Well, the payment for this technology is very simple. Because this textbook is like a television, it's like a game, it's like any other online engagement, advertising can be sold on this platform. And in this case, we're talking about advertising relevant to students. So companies that want to sell their textbooks, their products that are school related, uniforms, sportswear, can reach our students through this platform. And that income can be collected by government and be utilized to buy the hardware and software and to pay service providers that are going to facilitate this. The reason you hear the accent in this textbook is because we developed this textbook in India. The reason we developed it in India is to reduce the cost of producing the prototype. Moreover, we were also getting technology from Indians on how it is that we must develop this software and this type of textbook. And because of that, those Indian companies that we are partnered with will be the ones that will come and set up facilities in which we will have what we call technology transfer to educate African governments on how to produce this content. After the project of producing the first textbooks, we should have our own highly trained technicians, highly trained programmers, highly trained IT specialists to manage, create, and control this particular technology. The idea, the technology, and the technique of disseminating information this way came directly from our communication agency. What we needed assistance with was creating a prototype as cheap as possible for us to be able to present it to our governments and to private institutions. This is technology that can be used for training in corporates, technology that can be used by CETAs. But until Africans are seen as people that are contributing innovation, and their innovation becomes acceptable, and they can be trusted to create technology, we will never be able to see some of these ideas come to light, because our governments want to give work to foreign companies and to only white people. This is my example to say that black people are innovating. This product was developed fully by a company called Frontline Strat Marketing Studios, marketing consultancy that is bringing communication and marketing solutions to the world, of which education is the greatest form of communication that can be seen in the world. Assist us to assist this government and any other African government to produce solutions for education. The African child can lead the world if given access to quality education.